Welcome to Biblical Handbook Channel. In the dark annals of history, we encounter the tragic fate of Annas and Caiaphas, the Sadducees, who played a role in the crucifixion of Jesus. Today, we invite you to journey into the past, delving into the secrets and intrigues that surrounded these influential figures. Their lives and actions shaped a pivotal chapter in human history, offering valuable lessons upon reflection. Annas had served as high priest between 6 and 15 AD. Despite being removed from his official position by the Roman governor Quirinius, he retained significant influence, operating behind the scenes. His lineage continued the high priest legacy, with 5 of his sons assuming the role. He was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, the high priest who was in office at the time of Jesus' crucifixion. In this video, we'll delve into the life and demise of both Annas and Caiaphas. Before we embark, remember to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos. Palestine was under a government that allowed minimal autonomy for local leaders. This dynamic led to a complex relationship between Jewish religious leaders, responsible for maintaining order in the Jerusalem temple, and the Roman authorities seeking political control. The Temple of Jerusalem held immense spiritual significance and political value, attracting thousands of pilgrims annually for sacrifices and religious rites. In this climate of Roman occupation and religious tension, Annas and Caiaphas emerged as influential religious figures, both belonging to the powerful Sadducees sect. The Sadducees and Pharisees had different views of the scriptures. The Sadducees reject the resurrection of the dead and the spiritual realm, while the Pharisees embraced these notions. With wealth and influence, the Sadducees often secured prominent positions from the Romans. Consequently, the majority of high priests were Sadducees, holding significant positions in the Sanhedrin. This enabled Annas and Caiaphas to assume the role of high priests, elevating their status and granting them authority over the temple's affairs. The relationship between Jewish and Roman religious leaders was intricate and often strained. Roman occupation fueled fears of rebellion and the loss of privileges. This tension helps us understand why Annas and Caiaphas did what they did, especially their involvement in the arrest and trial of Jesus. Understanding this historical backdrop, we delve deeper into who Annas and Caiaphas were. Annas rose to the position of high priest in 6 AD, under the governance of Quirinius, the Syrian governor. He held this influential position until approximately 15 AD, establishing a system of familial succession that ensured continuity and religious power. His authority as the high priest bestowed upon him significant control within the confines of the Jerusalem temple. He held the responsibility of overseeing religious rituals, managing sacrificial offerings, and ensuring compliance with religious laws. This position not only made him a religious leader, but also a key political figure, as the temple was a center of power and control in Jewish society. Additionally, Annas had controlled over the temple tax and regulated currency exchanges. In Luke 19:45, the narrative depicts Jesus expelling merchants from the temple, rebuking their exploitation, and condemning the transformation of the sacred space into a haven for profiteering. The commercial endeavors of animal vendors and money changers within the temple precincts were among the most lucrative enterprises in the city. According to the Jewish Talmud, Annas's household bore a curse due to its opulence and lack of ethical principles, alongside the morally corrupt cadre of priesthood leaders whose presence was seen as defiling the sanctity of the temple. These accusations were linked to his alleged involvement in orchestrating persecutions. On the other hand, Caiaphas was married to Annas's daughter, and both came from rich families who were part of the upper class in society. Caiaphas ascended to the position of high priest around 18 AD, under the appointment of Valerius Gratus. This elevation marked a critical juncture in biblical history, mirroring the trajectory of his father-in-law, Annas. Caiaphas assumed a prominent role in the Jerusalem temple and within the broader Jewish community. Despite Annas's relinquishment of the high priest role, his influence remained palpable. By marrying into Annas's lineage, Caiaphas became part of a powerful family involved in leading religious and political matters in Judea. A pivotal moment in Caiaphas's narrative unfolds after Jesus resurrected Lazarus. Upon receiving news of this miracle, Caiaphas, in the council, uttered a famed question documented in the Gospel of John 11:49-50. "You know nothing at all, nor do you take into account that it is expedient for you that one man die for the people, and that the whole nation not perish." His assertion reflected the notion that Jesus' demise could avert an uprising and safeguard the interests of Jewish religious leadership. Caiaphas' utterance held a prophetic undertone, suggesting Jesus' sacrificial death not only for the nation, but also to unify the dispersed children of God. Afterward, the Bible tells us that the council made a joint decision to put Jesus to death because of what Caiaphas had said. During Jesus' time teaching, tensions grew between him and the Jewish religious leaders, mainly Annas and Caiaphas. Jesus' teachings challenged the beliefs and practices of the religious leaders, causing a direct clash between him and the authorities. In this context, Jesus got arrested and faced questioning before the high priest. First, Annas interrogated Jesus. Then it was Caiaphas, acting as the high priest, who questioned him. These interrogations were crucial moments in the Bible's story. During these sessions, Annas and Caiaphas looked for evidence against Jesus, accusing him of speaking against religious beliefs and causing trouble. However, Jesus mostly remained silent and didn't defend himself convincingly. These interrogations led to the decision to send Jesus to the Roman governor Pontius Pilate for trial and condemnation. Annas and Caiaphas played an active role in accusing Jesus and pushing for his death sentence. Their power in politics and religion significantly contributed to Jesus' subsequent crucifixion on Mount Golgotha. After Jesus rose from the dead, Caiaphas refused to believe the evidence. He imprisoned and tried to kill Peter and John, and later was involved in the death of Stephen. Caiaphas also permitted Saul to arrest any Christians he found in Damascus. Caiaphas played a big part in persecuting Jesus' followers because he saw them as a threat to the religious and political authority at that time. However, around 36 AD, Caiaphas was removed from his position by Vitellius, the Roman governor of Syria, who also removed Pilate at the same time. Eventually, Caiaphas met a miserable end, being killed during a Jewish revolt in 36 AD by the Romans. The tomb of Caiaphas's family was discovered in 1990 during road construction in an ancient cave hidden in Jerusalem's slopes. On the other hand, Annas died in despair, reportedly banging his head against the walls after realizing his role in the Messiah's death. An additional note mentions that Anas's grandson, the son of Theophilus, became the high priest appointed by a group in 65 AD after succeeding Jesus of Gamala. He was the last high priest before the Romans destroyed the Second Temple in 70 AD. Annas and Caiaphas wielded significant authority, but used it to suppress dissent and manipulate events for personal gain. Their actions underscore the danger of abusing power and neglecting ethical responsibilities. Their resistance to Jesus' teachings exemplifies a resistance to change and intolerance toward new ideas. It highlights the importance of openness to differing perspectives and the dangers of rigid adherence to established norms. These lessons and reminders serve as guidance to emphasizing the importance of ethical conduct, openness to change, commitment to justice, and the responsible use of power in shaping a positive and impactful legacy.